Trick or treat, gaming fans! Surprise! You lucky people got a bonus review this Halloween thanks to yours truly. Oh, perhaps I should introduce myself. You may simply call me Bones. I'm a clone of the Nintendo reviewer made to help him in some of those ridiculous skits of his. Do I ever get credited? No! So this Halloween, while Joseph is out on the town with his spooky partner Millennial Star, I'm taking the opportunity to branch out, become the star, do my own reviews. I'll review something he can't, an iOS game. Yes, in recent years, developers have gone from making simple iPhone games like Candy Crush to deeper games meant to play like AAA titles. It doesn't always go so well. But yes, this device now is being used for more apps and video games than actual phone calls these days, because who wants to actually talk to people anymore? What I'm about to show you tonight is a survival horror game made for the iPhone and iPad called Forgotten Memories: Alternate Realities, an obvious throwback to classic Resident Evil games of the late 90s. Just how well does this indie-developed horror game play on a device where all the controls are touchscreen? Let's find out, shall we? In this game, you play as Rose Hawkins, a detective in search of a missing girl. Her investigation has led her to this abandoned insane asylum. Big surprise setting, right?
We only see the front, without paying attention to the shadows hiding behind it. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely actors in the tragedy that is life.
Well, you just know your game is deep when you put a spin on a well-known Shakespeare quote within the opening cutscene. But seriously, the story is actually pretty compelling. It's full of mystery surrounding murder and the human psyche with some supernatural elements thrown in. Okay, a lot of supernatural elements. Something you'll notice right away is how great the visuals are. When you get up close to something, it does kind of look PS2-ish, but everything overall still looks really good for a game made on a phone. It really shines with the lighting. The way the game plays with lights and shadows and having you in such a dark setting creates a very haunting atmosphere. Your flashlight is the best source of light you'll have when playing this. That's scary enough in easy mode, but it gets worse in normal and hard mode, since in those modes, you have to recharge it every so often at a station, and these stations are few and far in between. A nice touch to the tense feel. The sound also helps in making this game scary. Not only is the voice acting good, but the way sound is or isn't used can scare you pretty damn well. My only gripe with the music, though, is that it can sometimes get intense when nothing is happening. It's good music for the game, but really? If nothing's attacking me, why you gotta get so loud all of a sudden like I have to arm up? Not cool, music guy. Well, this game does get a lot right of a survival horror game. You can only heal yourself with found med packs, your self-defense methods are effective but limited, and you face frightening enemies. But unlike the games that inspired it, Forgotten Memories doesn't feature any zombies. Instead, you'll fight some ghosts, dolls with knives, and mainly mannequins. All three of these enemy types are frightening, but what makes the mannequins so scary is how they are used when they're not attacking you. Everywhere you walk, there are tons of mannequins in various poses assuming the roles of people in the asylum. Doctors, patients, even the janitors. It's almost as if the asylum is frozen in time, and all of the residents became mannequins instead of zombies. But when you pick up a new item, or even just walk to a certain point, some of the mannequins will come alive and start attacking you! But as you're walking around, you never know which one will attack, so you feel constantly on edge. Because it's not like being alone in a dark room full of mannequins isn't creepy enough already. You're seeing these mannequins everywhere as you explore looking for items and journal entries like in traditional Resident Evil fashion. Also while you're solving puzzles, and the puzzles were good brain teasers. A few of them took me a long time to solve. But if a mannequin, doll, or ghost attacks you after solving a puzzle, how do you defend yourself? Well, isn't it obvious? With a lead pipe! You do eventually find a sawed-off shotgun and revolver, but most of the time you're using the pipe to bash your enemies with. It's pretty interesting how they designed the melee mechanics. The more times you tap, the stronger each swing is until you swing so hard you have to recover and start back at the weakest swing. Interesting, though clunky. It can be hard to line up your shot and then fire or swing. Then once you do, it becomes easy to swing more than what you want since it's all touchscreen controls. Now, to be fair, the developers did do a decent job with the touchscreen controls, but in many ways this game feels like it was meant for a dedicated gaming device with real buttons and analog sticks. I think everything would feel more precise if this was the case. Now, as you've clearly been seeing, Psychose Interactive took a lot of inspiration from Resident Evil, the most obvious one being the save system. You save by finding floppy disks and using them to save on computers placed throughout the asylum. This has a couple of problems. First of all, having to find floppy disks, which there are very few of, in order to save just feels annoying in this day and age. In easy mode, you can save on the computers without floppy disks, which is much better. But even that has a problem because of the device this game was made on. When it comes to gaming on a phone, it's taking out your phone anywhere to use an app and being able to put it away just as quickly. With most apps and games, this isn't a problem, but with a game where you can't just save from the pause menu, it becomes an inconvenience. If you have to suddenly close your phone to do something else, but you couldn't find a save computer before that, you're left with the app in standby mode, draining your phone's battery life fast while you do whatever it is you're doing. And yes, this game does drain your battery pretty quickly. So really just for this game being on a phone, it should have had an easier save system. Now, one thing that may surprise people is how short this game is given the type of game it is. It's a core survival horror game, but you can beat it in about 2 hours. Even less if you figure out things fast. It seemed confusing to me until I realized that this iOS version was actually made as a pilot episode for a longer game. It even ends with "to be continued." There was even going to be a Wii U version made, but it was unfortunately cancelled. There may or may not still be a full version made for current-gen consoles though. Hard to say when Psychose really hasn't said anything about this game's progress since this February. Really hope this game does get a full version on the Switch though. Being on a dedicated gaming platform would probably fix most of this game's issues. In the meantime, if this game looks like your kind of thing and you just can't wait for a full version, download it now, then go bug Psychose Interactive for the rest. Well, my work here is done. If you want more reviews of iOS games from me, Bones, please say so in the comments section and I'll be sure to sneak around and make more without the Nintendo reviewer noticing. Enjoy the rest of your Halloween, Internet!